Good evening, everyone. Welcome to RadioSilentPlay.com. On Tuesday, August 25th, 2015, let me start off by saying I am not a financial advisor. Please do your own due diligence before trading any stock or options. Trading stocks and options require lots of risk. Okay, so I've been away on a little bit of a hiatus. Coming back, we kind of noticed the markets pulling back. Overall, I'm going to go over pretty much the big boards. We've been hearing a lot of talks of slowdown in China, and this has been putting a lot of pressure on the markets. Nonetheless, before that, we had a meeting, a Sunday night meeting, and I talked about to traders. We had the meeting. We mentioned the neckline. We mentioned the head and shoulders pattern, and we kind of anticipated this down move beforehand. Okay, we were looking for that 212 retest, but it actually came up and it tested this 210 level. Before you know it, we just had a market breakdown. It came down all the way down to 182 level. Now, if traders would have been keen on grabbing a position, we talked about inverse ETFs such as the QID, the SDS. I'm sorry, the DOG for the Dow Jones. We talked about the TBT, the TLT for Treasury bonds. We pretty much set up everything beforehand. I think that it came a little bit quicker than anticipated, but at the same time, the markets are now in bounce levels. Today we saw the market jump. Okay, let's take a look at the FXI. The FXI is in a considerable downtrend. This is what I call lines of symmetry. There is a pattern here, okay, parallel lines that is pretty much showing a downward trend. If you're gonna buy the FXI, if you're gonna look to go long, what I would do is I would look for maybe a kiss of this downward trend. Okay, if you notice here, you had a bounce there, you had a bounce here when we tested it, and now we're having a bounce here. But every time you hit this top, that's where you go short. So whenever you see these patterns, okay, this is gonna be an opportunity to scalp. Okay, so you had to move up there, you got to move, then you got to move down. Okay, you got to move up, then you got to move down. Okay, you got to move up, you kiss it, and then you come down. Okay, so every time the FXI kind of kisses this level, it'll be an opportunity to go long. Pretty much that's what you're seeing here on the SPY. Looking at the daily chart, every time you kind of tested this level, you kind of held. Okay, every time it bounced from these levels, you really always saw the SPY kind of recover. Okay, so every time you saw these levels, we actually bounced. Now we just broke major support. If you come over here on the SPY on the weekly chart, this is significant here. Okay, this is an area right here. Let me just show you this chart. I think this one's better. We're in a downward trend here. We just broke key support here at that 200 and 197 level. Okay, so any move up to retest this level will be a shorting opportunity. Now, if you close above 200, that's okay, because what you're seeing is a bit of a rounded bottom, and you have a lot of room for downside. Why do I say that? Because you don't see support down to this 175 level, and you know if you start seeing some panic, okay, you may see some consolidation here. But what do we talk about here? This is what you call a bull flag, bearish flag setup. So watch for a potential bear flag setup here. Okay, it could be, you could see some consolidation here, and then just a breakdown lower. So these are the levels that I'm kind of looking for the SPY right now. Okay, what we're looking at right now is pretty much this 197 to 200 level. Today we kind of tested that high, 197.48, and then we kind of broke and then traded down to 187.27. So you got a little bit of a topping tail there. Okay, so I want traders to kind of keep an eye on the IWM as well. Okay, if you notice here, we just broke a key level here. Okay, this is the weekly chart, and we just broke this 112 key level here. So any move back to that 112, 114 level will probably be a shorting opportunity. So just watch. If you close 2 week consecutive leads above this level, then you could see a reversal. What I'm anticipating right now is that Labor Day, okay, that Labor Day holiday. Usually when you get Labor Day holiday, you start seeing the markets kind of bounce, and this is what I want traders to kind of keep an eye on, is maybe positioning or scalping on the way up and down. But at the same time, if you see an opportunity where the markets start rallying into Labor Day, that'll be an opportunity where we could go short the market, because I still feel there is a lot of downside. And why do I talk about the downside? because if you notice, okay, not only is the markets and the equities pulling back, but we also got the US dollar pulling back. And if the US dollar is pulling back, okay, why are commodities kind of pulling back? So you got a divergence where you're seeing the US dollar pull back, okay? You're seeing it close at the lows of the day, yet you're not seeing inverse move here on the USO. If you look at the USO right now, okay, it's pulling back, but I don't know if it's a good time to short. Okay, if you notice, every time it hits these levels, okay, down in these lines, it kind of bounces up. Okay, and if you notice, let me see if I got that chart on. Okay, this is the chart I kind of want to show you guys. This is a seasonal chart here on U.S. oil. Okay, this is from 1983 to 2014. If you look at from 1983 to 2014, you have oil kind of rally. Okay, so this is in the last pretty much 15-20 years. You're seeing oil rally in the month of September. Okay, and then when you see September come down, then you start seeing crude oil start declining. So what I mean now is, I know we started taking a position in oil a little earlier. I wasn't expecting this big drop, but I do think that this 12 level will hold. You saw this low of 1237. We closed here at 1273. I think that we'll see a bounce and maybe a retest at that 14-15 level and potentially hit that 17-18 level into the end or mid September. So this is something that I consider as a pullback. And then why do I say that? Because if you look, the devaluation of the yuan 2%, okay, or 0.2%, which they did, now it's causing an effect with a market pullback. And now what you're seeing is the US dollar pullback. So what is the Federal Reserve saying right now? The Federal Reserve is saying, yes, we're going to raise interest rates. And I don't think they're going to raise interest rate with this panic and this fear, okay? I will have a couple of oil stocks with dividend paying stocks that I think are going to be great potentials to start accumulating, and that's going to be posted pretty soon. I may do a webinar for that. Okay, I'm going to post what the dividend payouts are, and I'm going to also list like the 10 kind of best stocks that I think, oil stocks that are going to be in good buying opportunity. Okay, MGM, just a beautiful trade. I know we got in the MGM from $22.60 to $23. We were talking about this top, this resistance coming up. We actually tested this. A lot of people were panicking because it was moving up higher. Then all of a sudden we saw that move down to 17. We bought these contracts as low as 17 cents and they traded as high as $1. So that's just a beautiful move here on the MGM. So I want traders to kind of understand, sometimes you will get those trades. Sometimes you'll have to scale in. Sometimes you'll get stopped out. And this is what the market brings you. Okay, moving on to some of these OTC small caps. We were talking about the Crgp with that 1620 level. If you notice here, we kind of touched that 16 level, and then it was a dividend payout. A lot of guys got those dividends. Got some extra shares. Some guys were posting that they made $5,000, $15,000, $20,000 on this trade. The stock hit a high of 0.0116. Now we closed that near the low of the day, so it could pull back. They talked about raising authorized shares, but we don't care because we traded this from 16 all the way up to a 0.01. So that's just a good move. The NWAV, okay, this was a stock that I talked about, that 50% retrace level. Okay, some stocks don't work out, some stocks do. This is a stock that kind of did. All right, the stock broke this 0.001 level. I talked about that 50% retrace, which was 0005. And then today we hit a high of 0.0034, closed at 0.0032. Just a great trade on the NWAV. ARCs, this was a stock that I mentioned, and I talked about buying the stock from that 10-15 range. We actually triggered here down at 10. The stock rallied, and now it's trading at 27. So just a beautiful move on the ARCs. Okay, the DRMC, I talked about this 0.001 probability trade. The stock then hit a high of 19. Now today it hit a high of 16. Just a beautiful trade, 60 to 90%. I'm going to take it. This is the market that we're in. You have to understand that sometimes you got to lock profits. Okay, so I will be doing a Sunday meeting this week. Okay, we will be talking about the markets. Anything that kind of pops up, I may send. Okay, remember, if an option or a stock kind of triggers, just make sure you scale in. Okay, we're going to be extra careful during this market. Okay, we are in a 7-year cycle, so we're taking that into consideration. At the same time, we have a little bit more downside. okay? But at the same time, watch for that bounce into that Labor Day weekend, okay? With that said, everyone have a good night. If you have any questions, just email me at radiosilentplay@gmail.com. Take care, everyone.